Darkness has always been mankind's greatest fear. It hides secrets, whispers stories, and keeps us questioning what lies beyond. But what if I told you there are places in this world where darkness never truly ends, where screams echo through empty hallways, shadows move without light, and unseen hands brush against your skin? Welcome, dear viewers, to Top 10 Marvels. Today, we step into the unknown to discover the top 10 most haunted places in the world. These are not just stories told by frightened children or campfire legends. No, these places exist on real maps, in real cities, with real visitors who swear they've experienced the unexplainable. Some of these sites were once homes, now abandoned. Some were prisons, where misery soaked into the walls. And others, they were never meant for the living at all. So grab your headphones, turn down the lights, and prepare yourself. Because number 1 on this list is so terrifying, many believe no human should ever step inside. Let's begin. Number 10. The ancient Ram Inn. Hidden in the quiet village of Watton-under-Edge, England, stands a building that looks harmless from the outside. A centuries-old inn with crooked windows and a creaking roof. But behind those old wooden doors lies one of the most haunted places in all of Europe, the ancient Ram Inn. Built in 1145, this inn has witnessed nearly 900 years of history. Legend says it stands on top of a pagan burial ground, cursed long before its walls were ever raised. The innkeepers of the past claimed they heard chanting at night, the sound of drums echoing from beneath the earth, as if ancient rituals never truly stopped. Over the centuries, this place became notorious. Guests reported invisible hands grabbing their ankles as they slept. Others awoke to see dark figures standing over their beds. Some even described being dragged out of bed entirely, with no one else in the room. But the stories grow darker. Local historians discovered records suggesting the inn was once used for child sacrifices. Archaeologists unearthed strange dagger marks on the stone floors, believed to be part of satanic rituals. The air inside is so heavy that even paranormal investigators have fled in terror. One famous ghost is said to haunt the bishop's room, where visitors hear horses screaming, a phantom priest walking through the walls, and a woman's desperate cry echoing at midnight. Guests rarely last a full night in this cursed chamber. Even to this day, the ancient Ram Inn attracts thrill seekers. But almost everyone who enters claims to leave with the same feeling, like something has followed them home. Beneath the romantic streets of Paris lies a very different world. While millions stroll above, beneath them are tunnels holding the bones of more than 6 million people, stacked in endless rows, staring through hollow sockets at all who dare enter. This is the infamous Paris Catacombs. In the late 1700s, Paris faced a problem. Its cemeteries were overflowing, graves burst open, diseases spread, and the smell of decay drifted into neighborhoods. The solution? Move the dead underground. For years, cart after cart carried skeletons into the tunnels, creating walls of bones, skulls arranged in eerie patterns, a labyrinth of death stretching for miles. But the horror didn't end there. Visitors say the catacombs are alive with something more than silence. Many report whispers when no one is near, footsteps following them, and the chilling feeling of being watched from the dark. Some claim the dead call out for company, forever. In 2017, explorers discovered footage of a man who got lost inside the catacombs. The camera shows him wandering deeper and deeper, panicked until it suddenly drops to the ground. The man was never found. Some believe the catacombs claimed him, like they have many others who vanished in the underground maze. Even with guided tours, the atmosphere is suffocating. The walls drip with moisture, and the air tastes like stone and ash. Imagine walking past thousands of skulls, their empty eyes fixed on you, as though waiting for the moment you let your guard down. For Parisians, the catacombs are a piece of history. For the rest of us, they are a reminder that death is always closer than we think. Number 8. Aokigahara Forest. At the base of Japan's iconic Mount Fuji lies a forest so silent, so dense, that even the wind seems afraid to enter. This is Aokigahara, also known as the Sea of Trees, but the world knows it by a darker name, the Suicide Forest. For decades, people have traveled here with no intention of ever leaving. The forest has become infamous for the countless lives lost beneath its trees. Japanese folklore says the land is haunted by yurei, restless spirits of those who died with rage, sadness, or unfinished business. Their cries are said to echo between the twisted trunks, luring the living deeper inside. What makes Aokigahara truly terrifying is its unnatural silence. The trees are so tightly packed that wind and sound cannot pass through. Even birds rarely sing here. Explorers say compasses malfunction, GPS devices fail, and paths seem to twist back on themselves. It is a place where the earth itself seems determined to trap you. Many who have entered tell chilling stories. Shadows flitting between the trees, whispers that grow louder the further you walk, and figures in white drifting just out of sight. Some claim they were touched by cold, invisible hands urging them to turn back. Despite the government's attempts to stop it, the forest continues to draw both the curious and the broken-hearted. Signs are posted at entrances, begging visitors. Your life is precious. Please think of your family. But even with warnings, the legend grows stronger every year. For the Japanese, Aokigahara is not just a forest. It is a mirror of the human soul, dark, endless, and full of ghosts that refuse to be forgotten. Number 7, the Stanley Hotel. In the quiet mountains of Colorado stands a grand white building that looks more like a peaceful retreat than a nightmare. But step inside and you'll understand why the Stanley Hotel is considered one of the most haunted hotels in America. Built in 1909 by Freeland Oscar Stanley, the hotel quickly became a luxurious getaway for the wealthy. But what made it world famous was not its comfort. It was its ghosts. Guests have reported hearing children laughing in empty hallways, pianos playing by themselves, and doors opening without a touch. Room 217 is particularly infamous. People claim to see a maid from the early 1900s still cleaning, folding guests' clothes, and walking through the walls. The hotel's fame exploded when author Stephen King stayed there. After a restless night filled with ghostly visions, he wrote The Shining, one of the most terrifying horror stories ever told. Since then, the Stanley has become a magnet for paranormal investigators. Even today, visitors say they feel a heavy presence the moment they step inside. Some wake up in the night to see shadowy figures standing at the end of their beds. Others hear disembodied voices calling their names. For the staff, these stories are routine. For guests, they're unforgettable. Number 6, Eastern State Penitentiary. Imagine a prison designed not just to punish the body, but to break the soul. That was the purpose of Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia, built in 1829. Its Gothic stone walls and long, empty corridors looked like something from a horror film, but the reality was far worse. Prisoners were kept in complete isolation. They ate, slept, and worked alone. Guards wore masks to prevent inmates from even seeing another face. Many went insane within weeks. Today, the prison is abandoned, but not silent. Visitors report hearing screams echoing through cell blocks, footsteps pacing in locked rooms, and the sound of chains dragging across the floor. In cell block 12, shadowy figures dart across hallways. In cell block 6, loud bangs shake the air. One of the most haunted spots is death row, where prisoners awaited execution. Many say you can still feel their hopelessness pressing down on you, as if the walls themselves are mourning. Paranormal teams have captured chilling evidence, voices whispering on recorders, ghostly figures on camera, and sudden drops in temperature. Some even believe the spirits of the tortured inmates will never leave, forever imprisoned in the stone walls that broke them. Number 5, Poveglia Island. Floating between Venice and Lido lies an island so cursed that locals refuse to go near it, Poveglia Island. In the 1700s, when the plague struck Europe, Poveglia became a quarantine zone. Thousands of infected were shipped here to die. Their bodies were burned in giant pits, and the ashes mixed with the soil. It is said nearly 160,000 people perished on this tiny island. But the horror didn't end with the plague. In the 20th century, a mental asylum was built here. Patients reported seeing ghosts, screaming figures, and dark shadows. Doctors performed cruel experiments, lobotomies and treatments so painful that many patients died in agony. One legend tells of a doctor who was driven mad by the spirits. He jumped from the asylum's bell tower, only to survive the fall, and then was strangled to death by an unseen force. The tower still stands, though the bell has long been removed. Locals say it rings on its own, a warning to those who come too close. Today, Poveglia is abandoned. No one lives there. Boats avoid it. And the Italian government has declared it off limits. But for those who believe in restless souls, Poveglia is not empty. It is overflowing. Number 4. The Tower of London. The Tower of London is one of Britain's most famous landmarks, a symbol of history, royalty, and power. But behind its stone walls lies centuries of blood, betrayal, and restless spirits. Built in the 11th century, the tower served as a royal palace, a fortress, and most notoriously, a prison. Many who entered its gates never left alive. Kings, queens, nobles, all met their fate here. The most famous ghost is Anne Boleyn, the wife of King Henry VIII, executed in 1536. Witnesses claim to see her spirit wandering the tower grounds, carrying her severed head in her hands. Guards have reported faint sobbing echoing from her execution site. Other spirits include the princes in the tower, 2 young boys mysteriously murdered in the 1400s. Their ghostly figures are said to appear, huddled together, their faces pale with fear. Tourists and guards alike report sudden chills, ghostly apparitions, and invisible hands brushing against their shoulders. Some even refuse night duty, believing the dead still roam the corridors, reliving their final moments over and over. Number 3. The Queen Mary ship docked in Long Beach, California. The Queen Mary is a majestic ocean liner that once carried the rich, the famous, and the brave soldiers of World War II. But today, it is better known as a floating haunted house. During its service, hundreds died aboard the ship, from accidents, drownings, and wartime tragedies. Now, their spirits are said to wander its narrow halls. The most haunted area is the swimming pool, where visitors report hearing children laughing, splashes in empty water, and wet footprints appearing on dry floors. In the engine room, a sailor was crushed to death by a watertight door. His ghost is still seen wandering the machinery, calling out for help. Guests staying in the cabins often wake to find shadowy figures at the foot of their beds. Some hear knocking on walls, others see lights flicker in patterns, as though the ship is still alive. Today, the Queen Mary serves as a hotel and museum, but many who stay there say it feels less like a vacation and more like an invitation into the afterlife. Number 2. The Myrtles Plantation. In Louisiana, surrounded by moss-draped trees and humid air, sits the Myrtles Plantation, known as one of the most haunted homes in America. Built in 1796, it has been the site of countless tragedies. One legend tells of a slave named Chloe, forced to wear a green turban after being caught eavesdropping. Seeking revenge, she poisoned a birthday cake meant for her master. But instead of him, his wife and 2 daughters died. Chloe was later hanged by the other slaves, and her spirit has haunted the house ever since. Visitors often report seeing a woman in a green turban roaming the halls. Photographs have captured her faint figure standing on the porch. But Chloe is not alone. Other spirits include the murdered children, Civil War soldiers, and unknown figures who appear in mirrors. Guests hear footsteps on staircases, piano music playing at night, and sudden cold spots that freeze them in place. The Myrtles Plantation calls itself the most haunted house in America, and for those who have stayed there, the title feels earned. Number 1. The Banff Springs Hotel. High in the Rocky Mountains of Alberta, Canada, stands a castle-like hotel that looks straight out of a fairy tale. But behind its beauty lies one of the darkest haunted histories of them all, the Banff Springs Hotel. Built in 1888, the hotel welcomed travelers with luxury and elegance. But over the years, it became infamous for the tragedies that unfolded within its walls. One of the most chilling tales is of a bride who died on her wedding day. Descending the staircase in her gown, she tripped, fell, and broke her neck. Guests and staff report seeing her spirit, still in her wedding dress, dancing through the ballroom, forever waiting for the celebration that never came. Another famous ghost is the bellman, a kind employee named Sam, who loved his job so much, he never left. Guests claim he still helps them, unlocking doors, carrying luggage, and even turning on lights. But when they try to thank him, he vanishes. The hotel also hides a dark secret. Room 873. Legend says a family was murdered there, and the room was bricked up. Guests on the floor hear screams, see bloody handprints on the walls, and feel watched by unseen eyes. Even today, the Banff Springs Hotel operates as a luxury resort. But many visitors don't come for the comfort. They come for the ghosts. And there you have it. The top 10 most haunted places in the world. From ancient prisons to cursed islands, from ghostly brides to shadowy figures, these places remind us of one chilling truth. The past never truly stays buried. Which of these haunted places gave you the biggest chills? Would you dare to visit any of them at night? Tell us in the comments below. If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Top 10 Marvels, and turn on the bell icon so you never miss our next spine-chilling adventure. Until next time, keep your lights on and remember, some doors, once opened, can never be closed.